Here we go, F1 24 is officially here. We are starting off a driver career mode and we are driving as the man on the far right, Lewis Hamilton. We are going to try and chase that elusive 8th World Championship, possibly passing through Ferrari if we don't win the title in the very first season with Mercedes. So we'll see what happens, we'll see where the journey takes us. We know where our future is set. But for now, in the short term, we are looking to try and win with the Mercedes. Now, in the background, you're going to see me basically get the career mode all set up, go through all the settings. We're going to have 110 AI, we're going to have no assists. We're also going to have high on the fault types, but low on the frequency, which means we will have mechanical failures, but they'll happen at a lower rate, which is what we want because I still think the bug from the past games is going to be in this game. We're going to set everything to, immersive, formation lap on, simulation damage, hard fuel mode, pretty much as tough as we can get it. And hopefully it gives us a decent career mode. I have set acclaim and resource points to default because I don't know what to expect in terms of AI and other elements in the game. Of course, there's a lot of new features this year in career mode, so we're just going to kind of see how it goes and kind of flow with it, and eventually if we have to change it, we will. But here we are then. Sir Lewis Hamilton, 332 race starts, 104 poles. I mean, the numbers are bonkers with this guy. Over 100 race wins and so much more. You can see here we have Mercedes 3rd overall in terms of the performance chart. So we're going to try and hopefully look to improve. We have some perks on the right hand side and some permutations and recognition, which at the minute it seems like we are a slightly more favoured driver compared to George. But we'll see how that goes as we jump into our first meeting. Guys, like and subscribe if you enjoy the video. Let's try and smash over 2,000 likes and let's get into it. Let's get Lewis to 8 World Championships.
Finally, let's do this for real. Sorry it took so long. You know what these legal types are like? Yes, sir. No, sir. Here's 80 pages of needless jargon, sir. Anyway, believe it or not, this is my excited face. Come on, let me show you what we've got. So, all the usual stuff, merchandising, likeness, blah, 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 but the really juicy stuff is their expectation of you. They need you to challenge yourself all season, be the best you can be, dominate your teammate, become a legend. All that jazz. Now, it's over to you.
Now this is where we are going to sign the contract. Lewis Hamilton, 1 more year with Mercedes. So we're going to make a season length of 1 season. No more, no less. And we're going to set our target rating to 91. The higher the better. But if you fall short, there are consequences. So I don't want to go too aggressive. So 91 seems like a fair value as we re-sign with Mercedes.
We're signed. We are on the Formula One grid for 2024. That sounds awesome to say. Time to go crush that target. I'll see you soon.
Now with that out of the way, we arrive at our snazzy mansion in Monaco. Very nice. I love the backing track, and you'll hear that throughout the video at different points. Made by the same person who made the original F1 2010-11 games back in the day.
Quickly, before we gear up for the first race this season, a couple of things. Throughout your career, you'll get a lot of important information. Keep an eye on this tab between each race to see what you've been sent. We also have a wonderful team of specialists that will be dedicating some of their time to help us this season. When you have a moment, we should go and get introduced. They don't bite, I promise. Driver Details contains all the important information for your accolades, contracts, rivalries, and driver ratings. Keep an eye on it throughout the season.
Hi mate, Mark here. I'm your engineer for the season ahead, and I'm absolutely buzzing to be working with you. When you're ready, come and see me over in R&D and we can chat about the development of the car. See you soon.
Your specialists are a team of experts that will be working with us part-time to maximize your research and development within the team. They will offer you goals to complete each race weekend. Completing these goals will increase your relationship level with a specialist. When that level increases, you'll get perks that improve their area of R&D. You can see each specialist's title and current level here, as well as a message stating whether they have some goals available. Selecting a specialist will take you to a details screen where you can view their perks and goals. When you're ready, select an available specialist to see what they are offering you.
Now, in a nutshell, the specialists essentially replace perks or driver perks from past F1 games, but in a much more developed way. There's going to be a lot of conversation here and a lot of tutorials in this.
Each specialist will have perks that match their area of expertise. As you improve your relationship with a specialist, you'll gain access to the corresponding perk. You can also select which of the available goals you would like for the upcoming race weekend. You can change your choice at any time from here or at the track before entering the first session of the weekend. After entering the first session, your selected goal will be locked in.
So with that in mind, we are going to try and first off get goal number 1 or level 1, and the easiest way to do that is choosing one of the 2 goals available, and to be fair, they're both fairly doable, but I'm going to go for the second one, participate or skip 3 sessions during a weekend, because the first one is prone to possible mechanical failure, whereas the second one is pretty much guaranteed regardless of whatever happens.
You can see your selected goals and can view this during the weekend. After the race, you'll get a rundown of which goals you passed or failed and any progress made towards each specialist's level. If you fail a goal, you'll lose progress, so pick goals you're confident in completing. In short, don't get greedy. Here, you can review your recognition information. You will see a comparison between you and your teammate, as well as any bonus you have applied. Below that, you can see a list of your current perks that come with your recognition level, so you can unlock more and really push the development of the car. These are your active accolades. Through your glorious F1 career, you will work towards these, and each accolade has multiple tiers, just to keep you on your toes. Highlight an accolade and you'll see what it is, how to complete your current tier, and the rewards. When you've completed one, it will appear down below for you to get all nostalgic and reminisce on past glories. Across your career, you will always be compared against your teammate in a few different ways. Teammate battles are ongoing rivalries with rewards given every race weekend based on performance. Close points tallies can trigger a championship narrative rivalry. This compares your own points tally with your rivals, with the goal of outscoring them by a significant margin to win. Rewards are given upon completion. If your ratings are close to another driver, it can trigger driver ratings rivalry. The goal is to achieve a big gap over your rival. Rewards are given upon completion. Each rivalry has an intensity level. At key moments throughout the season, this may increase for one or more rivalries. A higher intensity level means you'll need to do more to win, but you'll earn more rewards.
Now you've kind of seen how the menus work and all the driver menus, the rivalry system, specialists, literally the stuff that we care about has been addressed. So now we can start off the career mode showing off another of the new features, that is upgrades. Now George Russell is keen on purchasing this upgrade right here, the floor stiffening position, and it's basically going to mean he's going to use his allocation of R&D points for that upgrade. So my allocation, I'm actually going to take that elsewhere and develop the spark plugs, because we are second in the aerodynamic ranking. We're mid-table in chassis and we're 4th in engine. So we're going to basically just improve the engine a little bit, hopefully for Jeddah and Australia, decent power circuits, and hopefully the car will improve. But with that said, we arrive at the new season grid reveal a la Netflix style. So let's get into it and let's watch the very nice cutscene. Now then, with that out of the way, we get back to the office and back to work. We get more R&D points, which we are going to spend straight away. Russell now has his eye on durability, which is interesting. He has already purchased the floor stiffening stay position. So because that is already on the way, we can't even cancel it. That's Russell's, in full control. We are going to take our points elsewhere. And I was debating, but in the end, I actually elected to go for the rear beam wing on the back end of the car to try and make sure we work on that rear end stability. You can see Red Bull have a pretty big lead in this kind of department, but hopefully we can cut the deficit. Now, with that done, we finally arrive at Bahrain, the first race of the season, our first chance to drive the W15 and to try and iron out the crinkles, which is this Diva of a car. So, as you can see, arriving at the office for a new day, a new season of work, and all the staff hard at work, and here we are, myself, Lewis Hamilton, and George Russell pulling up to our stations, looking to get stuck in. So let's get into it and let's see if we can do some further progress. So starting off with the weather forecast, it's Bahrain, as you would expect, no rain expected whatsoever. So we then move into the performance chart. Now, upgrades have already been starting to, come to fruition, but there is no big change on the chart as of yet. You might see some fluctuation for round 2. Haas at the bottom, Red Bull at the top. We are third with McLaren and Aston Martin very close behind. And yeah, there's kind of the field order or the field spread heading into the opening race.
The long wait is over. This is it, a brand new season. And before the show gets well and truly underway, we've got the all-important matter of a free practice session. It's great to be back. It's so exciting to be here at a new season. Plenty for the drivers to get their heads around. What will be going through their minds right now?
The faster you can work around the circuit conditions and get the car tailored to your liking, the better. And then you can just focus on the job in hand in terms of lap times. But first of all, you've got to get the car feeling right.
Here we go then, into practice, suiting up for the first time as Lewis Hamilton here at Bahrain, getting to grips with the Diva W15.
Okay, test complete, and that was a really good job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out of that. Well done.
Now that was our race runs, and we did all 5 laps trying to get a baseline of where the car's at. You see the front left there had about 10% more wear than the rest of the tyres. That's because of turn 10, the hairpin. It just kept on locking up, kept on putting more tyre wear on the car, which is something we'll have to watch out for in the race. You can see our lap times were a bit all over the place, but eventually we kind of found a bit of a rhythm in the last few laps, and yeah, we have a baseline now to work with for our race setup. I actually went back out a couple of times for multiple runs on the qualifying and performance test to kind of see what the Mercedes is like over one lap and seeing if our setup is any good, and we was actually a long way off, like pretty much a second off all 3 times I attempted it, and this was the last one where I kind of gave up and thought that was enough.
Well, program over, but that wasn't much help to us, I'm afraid. We need to run it again.
So overall, we finished practice in 15th place. The estimated position based off the qualifying performance test was P20. So it seems like 110 AI with basically a modified default setup could be a problem. I'm running preset number 3, so in the middle. I chose to not go low downfalls, and I've actually just basically tweaked the wings a little bit and the engine braking, made a few slight adjustments which seemed logical in my mind. Anyway, qualifying.
Under the bright lights of Bahrain, it is time for qualifying. Grid position up in the air. Who is going to seize the moment?
Here we are, sun setting, night skies arriving. I will admit, I love the Mercedes in terms of looks. I think it's a beautiful looking car. Not so great in real life with the big turquoise stripe on the side pod, but we don't have that in game, so I'm happier with this version. Either way, we had a bit of traffic through turn 1 there, a bit of a block, didn't quite get the apex. We lock up into turn 4 and completely miss the apex, and this qualifying is going to be one of them ones where I'm kind of constantly learning on the fly and, getting to grips. We lock up through turn 10 on the front left, and I'm just struggling with car balance. I have brake pressure set to 100. I noticed by default it's set to 97, so I wonder if maybe you want to run it a bit less or just off 100. We clear Ricardo though, and now we have clear track for the rest of the lap as we look to close things out and finish our banker. Another missed apex through turn 13, I believe. DRS over the line, and we go P10, just ahead of Tsunoda, but behind the likes of Bottas and Sargent with a 128.9. So not ideal, not a great banker, and definitely cause for concern in this one as we're looking at possibly an early Q1 exit. Russell, to be fair, only 13th. Maybe he got blocked, not sure if that's the true pace of our car, but Sargent 15th with a 28.4. That's going to be the objective for this lap. So just under a minute on the clock, and we are going to try and improve. I made a few adjustments on setup. I reduced my tyre pressures to minimum pretty much, and also tweaked the differential. So let's see if this works. Turn 1, braking just at the 100. Bit of a lock up on the way in as we missed the apex yet again, but we carry more speed in general through there, and we find a 10th and a half.
30 seconds left in the session.
Also, not getting blocked helped, of course, as we now head through turn 4. Braking a bit early this time to get the apex. You can see we lose originally, but we gain it all back on the exit, even with a huge moment which could prove to be costly on exit. Finding more time now through the lefts and rights as we plunge down into turn 8. Also here hitting our apex unlike the previous lap, and you can see we're just finding time pretty much everywhere at this stage. This is only our second run, second attempt, so we'll see if we can nail it. Turn 10, we lock up again, and we run even deeper than last time, but we don't lose much time actually, and we're currently 4 tenths up. Checkered flag out, so we'll see if we can try and get through. The second sector split here compared to Ocon is going to be key in the top left. Now Ricciardo as it updates. Let's have a look and see what we're working with as we are currently neck and neck, 0.027 here. This is going to be close. Now Sargent is 16th, a 128.2. We make our way down to the final corner, brake at the white line, down to third or fourth gear. I keep it in fourth this time, using a bit of the exit curb, and we have a really good exit, and we're going to run it up to the line. Is it enough? The answer is yes, 15th, just scraping through into Q2, which is brilliant because that gives us a bit more time to kind of get comfortable with the car, learn the car, find the limit, and see where we can find more time. 128.065. Now you can see we've gone back out on those same tyres for Q2, which have 11% on the front left already. So this is a used set of tyres. Through turn 10, much better on this one as we start to get, you know, things kind of together, and I'm starting to also understand the car every single corner I do where the baseline is. We crossed the line and set a 128.1, so only a tenth off our time to get into Q2, but that was with a very old set, nearly 20.
Less than 1 lap of fuel left now. The tank's pretty much empty.
Nearly 20% wear on those tyres, and we only went a tenth off our previous time, so that's a very good banker. We're currently P12. We need to find, I'd say, maybe half a second to probably get into Q3, so maybe 4 tenths. So now, fresh tyres on. I also made a tweak to my graphic settings, which I realised I had VSync on, and when I turned it off I had screen tearing, but I made a few adjustments and I managed to fix it. So now I have a bit of a better feeling with the car thanks to my graphic settings, and also my rotation with my wheel was 1-to-1 in game, so the reaction time is going to be better. Turn 1 though wasn't better, and we are still down. This is where the time is. We had a big moment through here, and I want to make sure we try and clean that up. And you can see, look at the difference on the exit. Really, really nice. 2 tenths up on our own time, and up a fraction on Perez through sector 1. Now then, into turn 8, we brake a bit earlier, and we get the apex beautifully. I managed to hold on some minimum speed and get a decent exit, and we're 3.5 tenths as the checkered flag drops. Turn 10, a bit deep, but we don't have a big lockup, and we do find a little bit more time, and just like in the previous session, we are 4 tenths up at this stage of the lap. So now, through 11, we get the apex perfectly, carry good speed and a good exit, crucially up the hill using overtake, and you can see now in the top left, compared to Perez, we're 2 tenths up. This is looking good. Through 13, keeping it within track limits, we find more time, and now 1 corner remains to try and get into Q3. Brake at the white line, down to 4th, trying not to be too aggressive with the curbs on the inside there. I got a bit lucky with the car balance, but we find more time and DRS to the line as we hold it in 7th gear. Is it enough for Q3? it should be, and it is, P7, and we make it into the final part of qualifying. So again, we're just getting faster and faster and faster. Sainz 26.8, setting the pace. Russell 27.0, and to be fair, we got through by 0.3. So in the end, decent margin. Perez, the big scalp in Q2. Into Q3, used tyres yet again. These were the tyres that I just used in Q2, so not ideal, but we set a 127.9, which is 0.2 better than our previous used tyre lap, so we're still getting quicker, even though we're P10. Obviously, the lap time is a long way away. Everybody else has fresh tyres, but right now, our previous time of a 27.5 isn't even an improvement on position. So we need to find something more on this one. So guys, I'm going to let you enjoy this with engine sound, our first proper lap in F1 24 career mode qualifying. There we go then, qualifying finished, another personal best, a 127.2. Obviously, I always feel like there's a bit more time in there. We're still getting used to the game, and maybe I could have got close to Piastri, but generally, I feel like we did a pretty decent job, and we got the most out of the car at this stage and where we are with our pace and how comfortable we are with the game. Russell, though, takes an early lead in their teammate rivalry as qualifying ends. And we're now going to jump into our first ever race in this career mode. And we're going to try and hopefully steer Lewis in the right direction back towards those world championships.
No more testing, no more practice. This is the real deal. And it's make or break here at round one of this year's Formula One World Championship. We'll be racing around 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit today. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left down into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. It's Carlos Sainz in pole position, and starting next to them is George Russell. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Norris, Oscar Piastri, Hamilton, Joe, Tsunoda, Perez, Stroll, Albon, Gasly, Bottas, Magnussen, Hülkenberg, Sargent, Ricciardo, and Esteban Ocon lines up at the back of the grid. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me is Anthony Davidson. Well, welcome back. Let's start with a nice, easy question. How do you stop Max Verstappen?
That's what they're hoping for. And that's what we're hoping for as well in some ways, because we don't want to see just one driver or one team running away with it this season like we had last year or even the years gone by in this sport. Can we get to see a two-way or even a three- or four-way fight throughout this race today? Fingers crossed we'll get that.
So before we go into the race, I want to point out we have hit our specialist goal for the weekend, which was to do the 3 sessions, participate or simulate regardless we've done that. So we'll hopefully get a boost to engine wear for the next race. Now, strategy for this one is interesting. Tyre wear seems very, very odd. 2-stop, medium, medium, hard, which is surprising, but I won't put it past the game. That could be the case. If it is a 2-stop, then so be it. The one thing for this one is going to be setup, which I'm kind of keen on. And I was running minimum front pressure and rear pressure pretty much. I've now upped it to what the default pressures are, which I'm hoping should be decent race tyre pressure. Brakes on 54, could possibly be 55, and then the rest of the setup is how I've left it after qualifying. So if you want to copy it, feel free. Either way, we're ready to go. I don't really have much more to add. Fuel, an extra lap compared to the full race distance. Again, I think we should be okay based off the race sims. So let's get into it. Like, subscribe, and let's see what happens in Bahrain. I'm not really getting any tyre temperature in at the moment. Obviously the AI not really doing much to generate temp, but I guess we'll have to try and move and get the car to wiggle a little bit to get some temperature. Our target, obviously, to try and beat Russell. That won't be easy, but we'll see what we can do. Our teammate is our rival, and that's how it always has been, especially when we don't have another rival set at this stage. I believe this is the most effective way to warm tyres, just by scrubbing them. Might try a little lock-up if that helps. No, not really. So that seems to be all we have, temperature-wise. Right, let's get ready then. First race. Let's see how it goes. Here we go. For the first time in F1 24 career mode, we go racing. And we're underway. Not a bad start. Alonso bogs down. Easy does it. Down to turn 1. We brush the back of Leclerc, who is in the wars there with the McLarens. Trying to go around the outside, and we do manage to get in front. Bit of contact here and there, but we get it done. Checo on softs, off to a flyer as he goes up the inside into turn 4. We're going to try and keep Leclerc behind us, but Perez not messing around, starting on that soft tyre, getting stuck in straight away. I need to try and not lock up. That's going to be the key thing in this race. A lot of work on brake bias. I'll try 53 and see how it feels. Also some lower gears, engine braking might help. Perez already looking very rapid, and we're in risk of losing DRS here, which of course gets enabled at the start of lap 2 now, end of lap 1. I've already used a big chunk of the overtake, but we're dropping back here. Let's get on the battery. Try and close in. Look how quickly the battery goes down. It's going to be such an adjustment. Didn't really gain anything on Perez on that straight either, so I won't push anymore. If Leclerc wants to go, he can. Ferrari might be quicker than us, so we'll let him crack on. He's pulling alongside, but he's not really pulling in front. Braking a bit early on purpose to see if we maybe get the DRS. Which we do. So good racing. Alonso lurking behind us, but doesn't go for a move. Let's try and settle into this race. We'll be stronger at the end. Got to try and stick with the pace for now. We're at risk of losing DRS on Leclerc here. I think we have lost it. Not really on the pace at the minute. We are struggling big time. Alonso will go through. I don't really have anything to defend with, so I won't put up much of a fight. Although Alonso's choosing to not go through and just kind of sit behind. Now he goes for it. Could have gone for that a little bit earlier. That's just not good racecraft. But there we go, Alonso passes. No DRS, so we're now under threat from Pierre Gasly as well. Pierre on softs, so he has a bit of an advantage at this stage. Alright, we'll let him check in. Ah, oh, damn it. The AI, honestly, some things.
Okay, be careful with the front wing. You've taken some minor damage.
Some things will never change with the AI. Joe goes around the outside. We'll box for hard tyres. Change our wing. Stroll behind us now on those soft tyres, looking very racy. We are dropping rapidly. The AI seem very strong on race pace. Seems like one lap he was able to get the job done in qualifying, but in the race, different ball game. Stroll looking to go through here. I'm going to go down to none to make sure he goes through. And we're going to be on our own on hard tyres, basically trying to do our race. Nothing we can do. Bit of early damage, which isn't ideal, so into the pit lane. And we'll have to serve some repairs. Pretty bad start. Hit our marks, front wing ready to go. Ready to drive off, 7.7 give or take. 7.6, there we go, missed our pull away, but still. Right, let's see what happens. There's clearly a lead group, a lead pack, and then there's a lower half, and we're kind of in that lower half pace-wise, so either way, we're going to need a safety car to get back in this.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track.
This is going to be a long 25 laps now.
Okay, Lewis, we've got some clear track in front of us, and let's make the best of it. So please make this next one a very fast lap.
So you're trying to say it's hammer time. Let's see. Little mini objective in race. Let's try and beat that 1:32.9. Decent lap to be fair. Not quite personal best, but we'll beat the 32.9 straight away.
Okay, nice work. Really good job with that target, mate.
We are identical to Ricardo and co ahead pace-wise. Obviously we don't have the benefit of DRS, but that is just our pace at this stage. I feel okay now, comfortable on my own, doing my own thing. But we need something later to try and get this race back in our favour. Just doing a few laps in hot lap mode. Battery doesn't seem to deplete too much, so we can keep it like this for a while. Into the 31s, gap to Ricardo, just dipping sub 25 there for a brief second. Pierre Gasly pits, and so do a few others. So the pit stop window beginning to open. We can actually drive in hot lap for quite a while. The battery is not going down that much, so we'll get quite a fair few laps in this mode before we start to run out. Pace is still pretty tidy. Tyres are going though already, but I'm managing the front lockups quite well, so we're putting a bit of a halt to that front left wear. But you can see everyone rejoining just ahead of us, so that's kind of the difference from changing a wing to our regular stop. Let's keep the pace up. More cars in the pits. We're going to set a personal best, so we're still ticking over fine. You know what Lewis says, never give up. We're going to be out close here with Albon. We'll get a bit of DRS. We'll go just around the outside and temporarily move off from the foot of the table and not be in last place. We'll see how long it lasts though. Albon will probably quickly get back through on those soft tyres. Albon looking to go through. I'm going to knock it down to none and let him go through, and that way we'll get DRS on the pit straight. Again, we've got to just try and keep this pace up as long as possible. We're doing okay at the minute. Pace isn't too bad. A few more cars in the pits. Last cars to pit. So we'll again move off the foot of the table and not be last, which is good. Just got to try and stick with this kind of crew here. They're on soft, so their tyres will wear out pretty quickly. I don't know if we'll catch my level of wear, but they'll wear out pretty quickly, and hopefully we can do something later on with the mediums. Right, here comes Sargent, along with Hulkenberg. We'll just move to the middle of the track and let them go through.
We're approaching the pit window, and you're going to be on mediums.
Sargent's just kind of driving into the back of me here, which is far from optimal. We'll let him go through. Yeah, I seem a bit buggy there. They will kind of follow whatever you do. And we'll let Hulkenberg go as well. There we go. Right, straight back on it. Just got to try and stay somewhat close to, you know, somewhat of an undercut window to these guys. First signs of tyres starting to let go though through there. Ooh, Sonoda's in the pits. Damage or possibly a different strategy. I'm not too sure. Either way. A little bit hot there into turn one, carrying a lot of overspeed. Sargent, Hulkenberg going for it, which is going to keep us in DRS range, which is always encouraging.
Okay, Lewis, let's try and climb up the order if we can. We're setting you a new target. Push, push.
I don't know if that's going to happen, Chief. I won't lie to you. Sonoda's going to go straight through here and waste no time. I'll knock it down to none. I'll get DRS on the pit straight. Just like that. He's on a fresh soft, so I hope he's nice and quick. We're not a million miles away here. Something could happen. Ricardo now pits.
Okay, we want you to pit this lap, so push now, push.
That's quite early. I could try and go to the end on these. I don't know how they'll feel at the end, but I'm pretty slow as it is already. But maybe once they kind of hit some wear, they might struggle. Those on softs now are starting to struggle. They're not quick anymore. We're actually catching the pack of cars ahead. So this is starting to go our way again. Personal best. Let's see. Let's see what happens. You can see them battling ahead there, but they're losing a lot of time. Now I'm starting to wonder, do I box for an undercut maybe? And try to leapfrog everyone. I mean, at the minute we're doing okay. Pace is good. This is a healthy spot for us to be in and kind of extend this stint and kind of, you know, make up for tyre wear difference as we pit so early last time. Oh, big lock up there. Pretty big lock up. 40% now on the front. We've managed it well. Not getting away from us too much. We're catching that pack of cars now. Big time. I'll box when the first car chooses to pit. So we have someone to follow. But for now we're going to stick with this. Look at this. It's all kicking off proper. Sargent gets tangled up with Sonoda, Hulkenberg as well. Let's try and see if we can make some progress here. Maybe get ahead of some of these guys.
Oh, mate, you made that look easy. Nice work. That's why I love working with you.
Okay. So you don't have to be at that position by the objective end. As long as you just make it at some point, that's good enough. That's interesting. Okay, some cars are pitting. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Let's try and see if we can undercut some of these other ones and get in the race. We might be on for some points here. Very important phase of the race. Oh, it's a slow stop. It's a slow one. They've gone onto hards, to be fair. So we've taken the pain on tyres to go longer. But, oh, that's a bad one. That's a big issue, that stop. We're going to have to push on this outlap and try and get these tyres to work.
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
Gasly and Zhou ahead. Ideally, if they were to battle a little bit, that would just help us a little to close in. Right, straight to work. We've gained a bit. We're going to use battery on the outlap. This could be race crucial. Right, so we've got cars in the pits. We're quite far back compared to those guys. But they're all flooding and rejoining into turn one here. There's Magnussen. So let's try and get close if possible. Don't have a lot of battery left really, but we've got to try. Hopefully they'll battle again and we'll close in naturally. I'm not going to quite get DRS, we're going to be so close. But we're not quite going to make it. Final cars are in though. Hulkenberg and Sargent, I believe. This is going to be huge. They should be behind. We're going to bleed a lot of time on this straight. Personal best 130.3. Here we go. Ahead of them, both. Good undercut. So 18th for now. Not really gaining as much as I hoped for. That slow stop has cost us because right now we would be in the thick of it.
Okay, Lewis. Engine's running too hot. Engine is running too hot. Let's keep it a bit cooler for now, please.
Oh, I don't really care, Elvis, mate. I'm trying to catch up here. We're not gaining. The non-DRS is hurting us. Either they start battling or we're not going to catch. First warning, just running a bit wide there. Out of battery. Accidentally running overtakes. Sonoda does pit though for RB, so that means Ricardo should hopefully pit as well. Which would move us to 16th. And then these cars ahead are battling for a points finish. But we need them to battle. Right, Ricardo does pit. So the Stake Sauber at the front of that train, I believe is running in P10 or maybe even P9. So There are points on offer just up the road, but we need this race to open up. We're starting to lose time now. Tyre wear is actually pretty high on this tyre compared to the hards. We still have a long way.
It looked like you made easy work of that target. Let's try and keep that going right through to the end of the race.
Still a long way to go. So I'm a little bit concerned. I think the hard tyre is actually probably the best race tyre for this one. There's no battling going on whatsoever. Everyone is just following in a straight line. Literally nowhere. No battles, nowhere. Hulkenberg and Sargent are swapping, but they're not even scrapping. They're going to catch me because they're swapping efficiently. I'm struggling now massively on tyres. Hulkenberg within my DRS window. Don't really have an answer to that.
Grip is probably dropping due to wear, so don't be too aggressive.
Sweating like crazy right now, but the hard tyre is the best race tyre for this track. I was really happy on that before. In hindsight, I should have gone a bit longer. Maybe even try to go to the end. Here comes Hulkenberg. Will he bug out and sit behind? No, he pulls out. I'll get DRS then for the next straight. We'll just try and stick with these guys until the end. I'm not going to battle too hard. Nothing to really fight for at this stage of the race. I'm a little bit worried we might puncture. Still a long way to go. These tyres have not held on well at all. I think the best strategy for this race, if I hadn't got damage, would have been to go long on the first stint, you know, well, say 10, 12 laps on mediums. Maybe even just 10, and then go hards all the way to the end. A one stop onto the hard tyre would have been perfect. The tyre is so durable. It really does last well. I mean, I was catching up, you know, on that previous stint, and I was on very old hard tyres compared to those on mediums and softs, but I was able to make it work and still gain. So, you know, that tyre still had some life in it, and the tyre was a lot lower. So, lesson for you guys if you're watching for your first race: hard tyres go very long and are decently paced, so use that tyre to go long. Okay, we're out of DRS. Tyres are finished. We'll be lucky to finish the race without a puncture. We are going to enter puncture territory right now. Even the left rear is starting to really go now because of the rearward brake bias. Don't have an answer. We'll try and use all the battery to close back in DRS on Hulkenberg here. Actually, we might just get it as well. Hulkenberg emptied his tank, and we have nicked a bit of DRS from 1.2, so a little something. Oof. Wow. Big lock up into 10. Sainz wins, but we get DRS crucially on Hulkenberg. Might just bail us out, and we're able to pull away from Sargent, so I think we just had a bit more battery than everybody else. Everyone seemed to empty the tank a lap early. Look at the tyres, by the way, the indicator. What are we finishing on? 81. Phew.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Carlos Sainz takes the checkered flag.
Well, all that off-season work clearly paying off here today. A brilliant way to start the season with a solid victory. It's a real good confidence boost as well, and you feel like that's going to really propel them forward through to the next race coming up.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today, and a stunning win for Ferrari.
There we go then, race done in Bahrain for the opener. Carlos Sainz picks up a very convincing win, 13 seconds clear of the field, and looks dominant in the first race. Perez second, Verstappen only third. Both McLarens, Russell our teammate P6 in this race, fending off Leclerc and Alonso at the end, and then Stroll and Zhou picking up the final points in the top 10. Leclerc with the fastest lap. If we delve into our race, you can see pace-wise, it wasn't that bad. A 1:30.3, we was kind of on pace. I reckon only 10 seconds off Zhou. Between the wing change and the slow second stop, you know, things could have gone very differently. We could have had DRS. Obviously, still learning the game, the track, the tyres. Again, I realised the hard tyre was the better compound, so maybe if we just tried to go to the end, it might have even been a better option altogether. Either way, we live and we learn, and we go to Jeddah next. No point looking at the standings really, but we'll just have a quick browse. Obviously, the drivers doesn't matter, but the constructors, we're 4th right now, ahead of Aston Martin, and then the top 3 pretty clearly pulling away from us after 1 round. Guys, like the video, subscribe. That's it for Bahrain in the opener. We go to Jeddah tomorrow, and we'll try to fight back and get our first points of the season. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Comment your thoughts on the accident, whose fault you think it was, and yeah, as always, a big shout out to the members for supporting the channel. Check out all the videos, guys, on screen, also the links down below to my channel sponsors, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, and it's goodbye from me.